It's Nolan. Climbing to the next floor. Them petty niggas tryna extort. They keeping track of me so much they hitting export. The Brahma bullet is rapping equipped with new mechanics. Loot expanding, got the cameras rolling like Dakota Fanning. Fuck no, I be spitting crack and never touch dope. Door to door selling this product, I work for Cutco. Took a little break, had to get my chicken straight. Nigga spitting like I'm finna drop a fucking mixtape, bitch please. I need all my fees, no apologies. Quality mixed with quantity. I'm the hottest breed, Southside ruler. We grew up popping the tuna. Now I'm a connoisseur for popping out your medulla. The godfather of martyr, much smarter than I put on to y'all. I've been rapping since niggas was using calling cards. Every wish is my command, listed my demands. Need them by the day, I get your ass beat with pots and pans. Working like an immigrant, funky like the chicken plant. About to do this tiny dance, I'm dodging all the single fans. People on the gram still talking, I don't give a damn. Dusty niggas stay in your circle, I call them ceiling fans. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well out there. In today's show, we're going to be getting into more Kendrick Lamar news as we get into the story behind the black Air Force One shoes that were used in the untitled Watch the Party Die record, right? The cover art that everybody was talking about, the eBay listing. We now actually have a little bit more context from the family, the couple that own those black Air Force Ones, how they ended up on eBay, and how things have changed for them exponentially since Kendrick Lamar used a screenshot of their shoes as his cover art for his untitled record. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to get into this whole top five situation because now Drake is being criticized for basically standing behind, supporting this young man, allegedly putting up the money for his legal fees during his case, his murder case, or whatever the case that may be, right? But then also we saw him on the stream with Aiden Ross and DJ Ack, where Drake was sending DMs to this top five guy, basically co-signing his behavior, but still trying to keep some sort of distance between the two of them, right? Because he could have joined, he could have called in, but he said, "Hey, I'm somewhere that ain't got no reception, but I see that you burning down the internet, da 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 da," supporting him from a distance. But it's probably gonna be in your best interest not to support this young man at all, but you're not going to take that advice and you're going to set yourself up for failure. And that's just what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? But with all of this taking place online, we're now getting some people pretty much they're finding themselves offended, finding themselves embattled in a back and forth. With that being Aiden Ross, who I guess he's trying to take the mantle of being on Drake and Top 5 side now. Right? I guess because he's from Canada. I think that's not smart. I don't think it's wise to get involved in rap beef in that level. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of somebody, nothing wrong with liking the music of somebody. It's nothing wrong with perhaps saying this person that may not be the popular vote was the winner of the battle. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that feel that way, right? And that will be Drake. But when you start taking on people's personal and or street issues as your own and you're nothing but a streamer, somebody that covers content, that's where a line has to be drawn. And that's why, you know, when I talk about street politics and stuff like that, I always exclude myself and say, hey, this is what they saying. This is what's going on. But, you know, some of this stuff I don't fully comprehend because I'm not involved, right? That's always been my stance. Even in the middle of the battle, when people started throwing stuff around like I wish you would die, or Drake came back and was saying even if you die, even if you was in a pine box, I would still be on top and stuff like that. I was like, hey man, I don't really like where y'all trying to take this. You know what I'm saying? I know it's just words, it's just verbal jousting, but these are strong words to be putting in your raps towards somebody in a direct fashion like that, and we already have seen how that's played out in multiple generations, right? So I tend to shy away from some of this stuff. I cover it, but I definitely am very careful about how I cover it. Now, somebody the other day said, hey, Why don't you, instead of covering this top 5 situation, why don't you report it to the Toronto police? Why don't you report it to the Toronto police? Why don't everybody report it to the Toronto police? This guy by the name of Ryan Nice did, and he got response from them in his DMs. He was able to, you know what I'm saying? He's basically kind of a Kendrick enthusiast. I'll just say that. He took care of it. Not to mention, we're talking about streams from DJ Ack and Aiden Ross. These are two of the most popular streamers on the internet with hundreds of thousands of people tuned in. You don't think no police was tuned in? You don't think nobody from the police forces, with these two particular people, by the way, who have had investigations personally placed on them, you don't think police are watching them? You think it's J Nolan's responsibility to report it to the police? Okay. Right. And then once I do, niggas gonna say I'm DJ Vlad. Right. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to get off that subject and come back to it a little bit later because, again, Aiden Ross has a bit of a back and forth with AD, and not only AD, but Smack. And these are men from the West Coast, from Cali, from LA, that are affiliated with TDE in their own ways, back on Fig and Community and all that stuff. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, but this is where it's going. It has the ability to explode into something that none of us want to see, and I'm hoping everybody can get a hold of it before it gets lost. But again, we're going to go to the lighter side of today's content by focusing on the Black Air Forces from the Watch the Party Die untitled track by Kendrick Lamar and the artwork. All right, so let's get into this couple who actually owns these shoes. They sold them on eBay. They actually elected not to sell, so they had to basically refund the buyer that originally wanted the shoes. They're now back on the market, and they're trying to see what type of payday they could get after all of this publicity.
Here's a really old reference for you, Faith. When Kendrick Lamar talks or sings, he's like E.F. Hutton. People listen. And so when the 17-time Grammy winner and soon-to-be Super Bowl headliner released a new song on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, it got over 3 million likes.
But the cover art he used, a pair of sneakers, belongs to a North Little Rock couple. THV11's Carter Thweet talks to the pair about kicks that are giving them one of the biggest kicks of their lives.
Information that'll change his life because he yearns for that.
It was big news in the hip-hop world when Kendrick Lamar surprise released a new song on the evening of September 11th. It was his first song since his high-profile feud with Drake, a 5-minute untitled track released simply with a picture of these shoes, a pair of black Air Force Ones.
Drum roll, please.
Here we go, the big moment.
Boom.
These are them.
That's them.
Internet sleuths quickly figured out the shoes came from an eBay listing based in North Little Rock. The account in question called Good to Be You, and it belongs to Billy Lingo and Darla Wilson, who have been together for 20 years and running the account since 2021.
What happened was I sold the shoes, and I said, oh, great. I sold a pair of shoes. So I started, I got them, boxed them up, printed the label, and all of a sudden my phone was blowing up.
It was other eBay users, letting them know that their shoes, which were quickly snatched up for $70, were now a piece of hip-hop history. The couple says they have no connection to Lamar. This was completely unexpected.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know a whole lot about him. And I knew he was. My son had told me about him, and my daughter had told me about him, but I really know about him now.
Once they figured out what was going on, the couple canceled the initial order, and they're now trying to sell the shoes in an auction format starting at $5,000. And since they own the image, they say they plan to sell t-shirts with it. Billy already has one.
And we had an opportunity put before us, and I'm not a greedy person. You know, I got to buy it now for $100,000. I buy it now for $75,000. I know that's kind of, you know, probably not going to happen, but it could.
In North Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV11 News.
Carter, good stuff. And if you're interested in getting into that auction before Craig O'Neill does, the link to the new eBay listing can be found on our website, thv11.com. The auction ends Saturday at midnight.
There y'all have it, man. Kendrick Lamar out here changing people's lives unintentionally. Oh man, they say, oh, that little $70. No, sir. I will give you your money back. We need to we need to get some more out of this, baby. What we doing? What are we doing? See, I need at least 5 racks out there, bit, man. Pay up their goddamn mortgage and need taxes on this house. Fuck out of here. Said if you don't want to wait in the auction, you could buy that bit for $75,000 up front. Hey, homegirl. Homegirl from the Turkey Leg Hut, you put that 75 up. You got another 75 for them shoes. Want to be friends? Oh man, it is too much going on in the world today. Yo, Drake, you're Mr. Hip Hop Collectible, ain't you? You trying to get all of the Infinity Stones? Why don't you go ahead and put that 75 up? Go ahead and change this couple's lives. They out here, they already got them screen print t-shirts with the cover art on it. Very smart move, as a matter of fact, because let's be honest, we've seen celebrities, artists, people in the industry that have gone on to use images of themselves, try to put it on merch, try to sell it at shows, and the photographer come back and say, hey, you owe me money. I took that photo. I am the original photographer, therefore I own that image. Even though it is of your image and likeness, I own that particular image. So I'm gonna need you to cut me in on that. So they say, shit, man. Based on our ownership of the shoes, based on our ownership of the listing, the photo of the listing, it's like shit. If people wanna buy this image, people wanna buy the t-shirt, you wanna get it framed, and you might say this shit is crazy, but there are some very big overzealous fans out there, and I won't even say overzealous, but just dedicated fans out there that will go buy this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, shit, I might as well buy it from the original proprietor rather than go and just put the image on my own shit, because they find out about that, they might sue your ass too. You know? So let's see what happens, man. If them shoes sell for 75, 100,000, that's gonna be a major contribution to their lives. But again, it's starting at 5. If anybody wants to go bid on that, you can go on eBay. You know, it might be a good investment for you. If you're a hip hop collector, new face, that might be good for you, homie. All jokes aside, you know, you're a top-notch collector. But shit, let's see how they run it up. They might not get the 75, but they might get the 15, 20. Hopefully them folk got it in their account to actually follow through with the bid though. We gonna see. You know? But yeah, getting back to this whole Drake thing, because this is getting deeper by the day. Once again, I really don't understand Drake and his position in all of this. You're an artist. You're an actor. You're one of the most successful rappers of all time in the music industry. You've superseded so many people that were much more talented than you alone. And you've superseded people that were equally or, you know, lesser of talent than you. And you've done everything. But at this point, I think it's odd that you're trying to align yourself with so many different street people. And this ain't nothing new, because this has been a thing for nearly a decade now. It's all just coming to the light. You know, you're engaging in the underworld, but then you want to come out and try to act like you're Mr. Clean. You see, the industry is imploding. The facade is getting taken away. The veil is being pulled back. Diddy's of the world, the Eric Adams of the world, right? All of these different incidents that are coming up, and these are like in close proximity to each other right now. Like, this is the hotbed of niggas going down. We saw the nigga that, not even nigga, but the guy from the state of New York who put those COVID protocols in place that prevented Kyrie Irving from playing. This motherfucker's going down for some shady shit too. I mean, niggas is getting outed, ousted, and fucking thrown out like yesterday's trash. So you might want to be a little bit more careful about who you're surrounding yourself with, who you're co-signing, and you might want to keep all of your dealings above water. Not to mention the rap a lot J Prince shit. I think that's gonna get you in some trouble later on down the line too. But I don't necessarily want to see your downfall, but you're actually expediting it. Right? So let's get into the specifics of what we now have here, right? So again, we talked about Top 5 getting off on his murder trial. Interestingly enough, shout out to the company man and his due diligence and work. He conducted an interview with rapper Knowledge from Kids in the Hall, Dr. Jabari. And he actually played an active role in Top 5's case, in which it was his responsibility as a professor and MC to basically talk to the judge and jury about the implications of using lyrics from rappers' music on trial. And basically what they were trying to do was use Top 5's lyrics. They were also trying to use posts from Top 5 where he was just straight up incriminating himself online in front of the world. And he basically had to make a case to say, hey, if all the evidence you have is online posts and lyrics from rappers' music, I don't think that's okay to convict somebody because it is all fiction, unless you can prove it otherwise. Basically, these artists are putting on characters, caricatures, facades, basically building personas. And unfortunately, social media has become a necessary evil in the development of an artist. So even if you're not on a label and you don't have marketing, you're still able to create some sort of storyline for yourself. And these artists are following through on that by any means, even if it means taking on a criminal persona in order to amplify their profile. Now, honestly, I always say it, I sit somewhere in the middle on this, right? Because there's so many different artists out there, right? So many different styles of artists, so many different types of artists, right? Even when you hear lyrics that I put in my own songs, you may hear about a firearm here or there, or choke slamming somebody, or different things. But, you know, for me, it's all about creative license. It's about talking about things that I've experienced, been around. I come from the south side of Atlanta. I've seen a lot of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I knew a lot of crazy niggas growing up. You know, but even with that, I was also influenced by hip hop. I was influenced by all forms of entertainment, wrestling, movies, Terminator, you know what I'm saying? Video games, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. So we incorporate all of this different crazy shit into our creativity. But I think you could tell I ain't trying to ride and slide on nobody, pause. You know, but if you make that the entirety of your persona, and you got real life issues and you got all of these different things, I feel like that comes across vastly different than somebody who is just being creative. I think it looks different. I think it sounds different. And I think somebody with a decent conscience would know how to differentiate the two in how they present themselves to the world. But, you know, whatever. It was compelling enough to say that those forms of evidence were not admissible in court, which is how he got off on his case, right? Now, I fuck with Knowledge from Kids in the Hall. I actually was a fan of that group. You know, shout out to Double O on the beats, one of my favorite producers of all time. I wish he had more major work with other artists. I fuck with Knowledge, but man, it puts me in an uncomfortable position to know that you may have played a vital role in a real killer being freed, you know, and this was upon an innocent person. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't it was, they say it was retaliatory, as in, I believe his brother was also killed in the streets of Toronto. But the person that they took out, they say is a case of mistaken identity. So they just pulled up in a car, fired off on an innocent person. He didn't make it to go home and see his family. He gets locked up. Then he goes on the run, right? Which I don't understand. For an innocent person, why would you cut off your ankle monitor or your whatever monitoring that the police have on you, which is an offense worth jail time anyway? And then he fled the country to go to LA, which a lot of people are trying to understand. How is it that he even got to LA from Canada crossing the border? Now, one might say, I don't know, they smuggled him in and out the country in a plane or a car, in a trunk of somebody's vehicle. Or you got a high profile friend like Drake who has access to private jets. Who's to say he didn't transport this man to LA? Because that's where he used to have a home out there. I'm not putting that on Drake's jacket. I'm just saying, who's to say he didn't aid in that? It's not a good look. Then it comes out that you paying for this guy's lawyer. I don't know. Once again, he was in Top 5's DMs during the stream in which Top 5 was out here incriminating himself, saying he was looking for Kendrick and Metro Boomin and all of these things that he wanted to do. He ended up putting Drake's DM on Instagram on the screen, to which Drake is in his messages saying, I'm in a meeting at some spot, no service. So he's refusing to get on the line with him, FaceTime or whatever, which I find it very interesting that you don't have this man's number. Everybody be posting Drake messages talking about we texting. It don't be nothing but DMs on Instagram. I think it's a very interesting thing that every time I see people's texts with Drake, it's all Instagram, except for last week with the young lady who, he told he was a slave for Live Nation. Those were actual texts. Everybody else's that I've seen was goddamn IG. But he says, no service. He comes back, says, I'm hearing you're tearing down the internet, laughing emojis. Upty in the cut, which is one of the men on screen with Top 5. KD in the cut 35, I believe, is another man on video with Top 5. And then he says, Boss Man Bunzo or something like that. Then he comes back and says, we bun skin. Welcome home, brother. Real shit. Right? To which they've now outed what this bun skin thing means. They say bun skin is Canadian lingo, which is really just Jamaican patois. They say here he's admitting to being involved with getting people shot with we bun skin. Funnily enough, these same guys were dissing and smoking on a deceased Toronto rapper by the name of Smoke Dogg, who Drake had previously brought out on tour and paid tribute to after he passed. So this is very interesting to me. Drake was allegedly playing both sides with this Smoke Dogg rapper and this Top 5 rapper, who I'm assuming had beef if they smoking on his pack. Drake had brought this young man out on tour, paid tribute to him after he passed, but then you turn up still rocking with these other guys. Furthermore, they state, this is exactly what Kendrick was talking about when it comes to these guys jumpstarting neighborhood wars. So, I don't live in Kendrick Lamar's head. I would never portray myself to know his thought process, but I think it's very interesting if he was privy to that in writing that record, then that makes me start looking at Family Ties a little bit different, right? Family Ties, Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem. This record was released in 2021, smoking on your Top 5s tonight. Top 5 was arrested in 2021. I'm not putting together no theories. I'm just saying, same year. Now, Family Ties came out a couple months before his arrest. But it's just interesting because I believe Top 5's been aligned with Drake for a while now. There's even that video of him getting kicked out of a Toronto subway or whatever that little place was. You know, and at the time he was claiming to be Drake's artist, although he was never officially signed to OVO. And the niggas that kicked him out of that little spot, they didn't give two shits about no Drake. They said, get your little Drake, get your acting like Drake ass out of here. Now, I'm not here to speculate on nobody's gangster. And to be honest, you don't got to be a gangster to do heinous crimes. If you look at the serial killers that have been locked up over the years, the decades, it ain't the OGs. It ain't the motherfucking niggas that be claiming sets that go down as serial murderers, right? The fucking Ted Bundys and you know what I mean? All these weird motherfuckers that end up getting movies and shit made about them. So that's what we have on that. We know that Drake is aiding and abetting him in some form. Now, they're also revealing, let me pull this up. Well, I ain't gonna say they're also revealing, but Aiden Ross is also revealing his role in trying to stay aligned with Drake, as I mentioned earlier. His figurative pass in LA has been revoked by Smack and AD from the West Coast, from Cali. Once again, they're all affiliated with TDE. They know Kendrick Lamar. I'm not saying that they're speaking on his behalf in any form or fashion. This is just their personal vendetta against Aiden Ross as he's aligning himself with Drake and this Top 5 character. They saying, hey man, you going on that stream, you're publicizing this person, you're putting him in front of the world while he's out here talking crazy about one of our own. You can't come back to LA and think it's going to be all good. We've now got Aiden Ross jumping out the window saying that he's about to start serving people with papers. I guess a lawsuit for threats. He also claims that he's going to come to LA and start smacking these guys, or have his security start smacking these guys. And this is where things take yet another turn, because now we have somebody who we know is not built like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Aiden Ross ain't built like a motherfucking slice of fucking loose leaf paper. But now he's out here talking crazy. Now, we've seen Aiden Ross out here talk real big talk, and we've also seen Aiden Ross out here crying on camera multiple times, which is why I really don't like this guy. But let's go ahead and run the timeline of events that have led us to where we currently are.
Me and Drake are going to link up in a couple of days, and we're going to do this podcast.
Oh, shit.
And we're going to play Not Like Us video, and we're going to look at every nigga in the video, and we're going to do homework. We're going to look for them niggas. I don't fuck around, play around by Aubrey. That's my bro.
He's from Canada, Aiden Ross?
Nah, he Jewish, nigga.
Where he from?
He like, fuck it. He like,
Florida?
He like, turn this shit off. This shit trash.
Oh, so Aiden Ross tripping too?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Slap your bitch ass.
He took his stand.
Banned from LA. I'm not banned from LA, bro. I wish somebody would. I swear to God, I'm gonna go to LA. Nobody's gonna do shit to me. I promise you, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, you think I'm scared of LA? What? I lived in LA for years and years and years. I'm not banned from LA. Fuck that old ass motherfucker on that podcast, bro. I'll smack the shit out of you. Well, not me, but I'm gonna have security smack the fuck out of you. Not me. I don't, you know, but I'm gonna have security smack the fuck out of you and beat your ass. It's that simple, bro.
Well, one, who is he calling old? I ain't old.
Right.
And I swear to God, I'm gonna slap him. And even if his security is from LA, they gonna get slapped too. So if he comes with some out of town security, they really gonna get smashed. It's no fly zone for him. He just has put himself in an equation that he can't get out of. Aiden Ross, no fly zone. Please let me know when you get to LA.
Aiden Ross, let me give you a tip. Security get popped every day, B.
What if a security guard sends you a message back like shit?
Aiden Ross, let me give you a tip. Security get popped every day, B.
So come do it. Go to jail for the rest of your life. It's so worth it, bro. Your shitty life. Come on, let's try it. Let's make some magic happen. Come on, try it. At least you'll go to jail for what, minimum 5 years in LA? What is it? I got the best lawyers of all time, baby. Let's do it. And I'm gonna low-key sue you for that. You want to? I can't wait. Yo, let me get that clip again. Put that on my phone right now. Send that right to my lawyer. I promise you I'm serving you ASAP. Don't ever threaten my life again, you big bitch. Go start a family. This podcast shit's not for you. I'm not a gangster. I'm not about that life at all. That's why I said security's gonna do what they're gonna do. But now, I'm going straight to my lawyers.
All right, so that's Aiden Ross. And correction, he's not from Toronto, although he acts like he is. He's from Florida. Okay? So this is where this whole top 5 thing has escalated to. It's gone beyond him and his words and his threats and his admission of allegedly being Drake's shooter and all this different stuff. Now he's put the battery in Aiden Ross's back, and you know, I'm not the biggest fan of academics in any form or fashion. I don't fuck with none of the allegations and stuff he has going on, but to his credit, he at least didn't jump out the window in this situation and try to go back and forth with AD and Smack, who he claims to have a relationship. I ain't gonna say he claims to have a relationship, but I think they've spoken a couple times on his show. But at least he didn't jump out and try to play like he was some sort of tough guy with these people. But Aiden, it might be time to hang it up, son. You know, because honestly, nobody wants to see you get hurt. Nobody wants to see, well, I ain't gonna say nobody. I'm sure some people would love it. But I personally don't want to see you go to LA, get yourself hurt, find yourself in a predicament, find yourself in any range of possible scenarios that could happen, because there's a lot that happens in the underworld, and I don't want any of it to happen to you, despite you purporting yourself like you're prepared, right? But now we've got somebody on the ground in Canada who's come out and spoken out against this top 5 situation, okay? And I think that this accountability is paramount as well, okay? This guy by the name of Friday Ricky Dredd, he's a Canadian hip-hop media personality. He works with We Love Hip Hop Network, and apparently while Top 5 was going through all of his legal troubles and investigation and all of these different things, he had conversations with this young man in which he echoed exactly what it was that he was saying in his interview when he was released from jail about uniting the youth and bringing everybody together and fostering peace in Canada. So now he's holding his feet to the fire to say, hey, bro, I personally had conversations with you in which you echoed these things. You said that this is who you want it to be. So now I've got to say, I'm completely disappointed in the behavior that you're putting out fresh out of jail. This is the first thing on your vision board. So I'm going to go ahead and play the audio of this guy speaking on this situation. And I think this is good, you know, because to be honest, Canada business ain't America business, right? They want to make it America business because they have issues with Kendrick Lamar, or maybe don't like what he said in his records, or whatever the case may be. But we don't need no Canada, LA, Canada, Cali war. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear what the people in his own backyard are saying about the situation. All right?
Before I run this clip, low-key, I feel kind of let down.
By Top 5?
Yes.
Explain. Yo.
He told me, hold him accountable. When he comes home, he's going to bring the city together. He's not going to be on this op shit. He's going to give 10 grand to all of the people who got dissed, whose families, like who lost loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of talk behind them bars. And I'm not going to be one of these guys who's hypocritical, who's gonna be like, oh, it's, there's a lot of clout to be got, so I'm just gonna talk about top 5 like he never said that shit.
Yeah,
Right?
no, but
Lynn
he
said
did
he used you Friday.
Fact. No, but no, wait. We hold on, slow down, everybody, slow down.
I was his mouthpiece talking about peace for the longest time. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the man is under inhumane conditions. Let's get him moved. You know what I'm saying?
I still think he's gonna bring peace. Don't worry, he'll bring some peace.
Are we sure?
Listen, bro. I don't think Top 5 trying to go back in that cell. No, man, I think he tried. But he even said on the stream he tried to. But you know what? I'm not even saying anymore because at this point he's probably just talking. You know what I mean?
Bro, we seen it in real time. Like, besides the behind the scenes, in real time we seen it, where the man was like, "Yo, I'm going to be a changed man when I'm free." Now we're watching the stream last night, and he's Drake Shooter.
Yo, I kind of agree with all these people. Lynn, Big Chill, DJ Illinois, Two Piece No Biscuit. Like, bro, I feel like Gary Grrrls, his lawyer, was like, "Hey, yo, you're gonna go on a podcast, say this is what you're trying to do. We're gonna build a character profile, all right?" So then, boom, he does that, pulls up, mad religious, alhamdulillah, you know what I'm saying? Allah's the greatest, whatever. And then he gets out, and then this is how he's moving. But I get that it's for entertainment. He just has to do both. Like, if you're gonna do the wild stuff on the internet, also do like the stuff you were talking about with Friday. Other than that, then it's kind of like it just doesn't seem genuine, you know? You just give it. Here's what I was. Yo, Friday. Here's what I would say to you, right? This is my word to you. Let's give this man some time. I'll say to the end of the year. I know he's gonna stay on a long time. And if he's still moving reckless, actually, no, fuck it. At the end of the month. So where are we at now? September. Let's say end of October. End of October. And if he hasn't changed one bit, then I'll give Friday the free privilege to set a one podcast and just go off on Top 5.
Well, here's the thing.
All right,
we don't have that kind of time.
All right, now now y'all saw the other two people in the video. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Friday. Other two folks in the video are basically caping for him. They're trying to give him an out. They're trying to give him an excuse. They're trying to say just let it play out. See if he actually does work in the community and makes good on his promises. All of those things. Give him time. Friday said, "Nah, dog, I'm not rolling." And again, I support that because if he was somebody that was in communication with this young man and has been trying to, I guess he believed the story that he was not the person that should have went down for that situation. I'm guessing he believed that he was wrongfully, on trial. I'm guessing, they made mention of him being in inhumane conditions while in the jail, right? So perhaps there was a petition for him to be removed from those conditions, right? I'm not privy to all of everything that young man whole case for the last 3 years. But this is somebody who essentially, at least from a media standpoint, went through it with him and allowed him to speak. And he says all of that, and he flushes it right down the toilet immediately. First couple days he's home. That ain't cool. Hold his feet to the fire, hold him accountable. And he said Top 5 told him to hold him accountable. I think that's sensible talk. You know what I'm saying? I had to cut it off because I hate to say it, but homeboy was sounding a little bit too much like a leprechaun to me. You know what I'm saying? I had to go ahead and just let it, hey, man. I had to get the blimey out of here. Okay? So, with that being said, once again, Drake has been called out for his affiliation. And now we have a cousin of the young man who was, I don't even want to say wrongfully murdered, but he was definitely wrongfully identified in their quest, right? And we see Friday, he had an OVO hat on. But people are distraught. people are extremely disappointed that Drake is aligning himself with this person, especially when Drake and 40 made it known that they were supposed to make things right. You know what I'm saying? To find justice for these types of situations, and we not seeing that happening either. So we've got Idman A. This is a user on Instagram, cousin of the deceased. And they reposted Keep Six Solid, which originally stated Toronto rapper Top 5 thanks Drake for paying his lawyer fees leading up to his trial. Shout out Big Bro Champagne Poppy for the lawyer fees and Gary Grill for being the best lawyer in Toronto. Okay. So Idman says, zero clue this was even a thing. This shit hit like a blow to the stomach. Just so we're clear, my baby cousin was murdered in the parking lot of his home. This is a trial about the murder of a kid. My baby brother had to find his best friend that night lifeless. I used to appeal to this man. We all looked up to him. This is the wildest move. What the fuck are y'all doing, Champagne Poppy? Justice for Hashim, which is the young man who was killed. Furthermore, Idman says, Hashim was the only son of his mom. He played video games, and him and my brother were the softest, nerdiest, cutest best friends. He rarely was allowed to leave the house. His mom was so protective. She only had him and his beautiful sister, Hadman. They're the nicest people, and they had finally found a place out the hood. We were so happy for them. It would take us a little longer to meet them out there, but they got out. This happened after they closed on a new place. His mom let him go out to get pizza with his friend one night before they moved, and her son never came through that door ever again. He never got to move into his new room. Who's fighting for them? He never got to see his first year out the teens through. Okay. Furthermore, Idman says the man was charged with murder. They put a GPS tracker on him. He took it off and fled to the States. I don't even know how you get past the border with that kind of charge. LAPD found him. And some way, somehow, he still got off a charge. He fled out the country to evade. That's what I've been saying from the jump. Thank you, Champagne Poppy. Your version of justice means Hashim's sister had to watch her brother's murderer celebrating on TV. He insisted, if that tells you anything about the caliber of people we're dealing with here, during her honeymoon. People can't even mourn or heal with dignity. When I came back from Portland, they told me OVO 40 was one of the good guys. He was really trying to find a solution for what's going on in the city. This is the solution. Any and everything he does hereafter, every mom that has to hear him sing about murdering their kid, that's on y'all. That blood is on your hands. And Top 5 has a song that was released, if I'm not mistaken, while he was incarcerated that talked about how he got his first, I forget the damn lyrics, but it was something like, I got my first gun. At 18, I got my first gun. At 22, I shot your son, or something like that. Something to that effect. So when this person talks about having to hear him sing about doing that, I believe that's the lyric in question. Okay? Now, I gotta say, this is the type of stuff that will definitely turn you off of an artist. There's enough, you know what I'm saying? There's enough from the allegations, the 17-year-old, the footage, that thing, your daddy, you know what I'm saying? The cultural appropriation, all of these things, right? But when you playing with somebody's actual life, life or death, and you're co-signing the unaliving of an innocent person, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. There's wars going on between people that are interlocked into, you know what I'm saying, the street life. They go by a certain code. They know that their fate is going to end in one of a few ways. Dead, jail, or hopefully maybe live to tell their story and you know, go off and do other things in life, I suppose. But an innocent person, nah, that don't sit right, man. The hits can't deliver you from that. You know what I'm saying? Now they're saying that Drake and Top 5 are now working on music. I don't know how accurate or true this is, but that's something I saw earlier today, is that there's an alleged Top 5 Drake collaboration on the way. Okay? Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will say shout out to The Ville, shout out to Chilling with Moni, because these are people that have already kind of spoken on these things, and I know some of y'all are trying to make me privy to them. I know who they are. You know, so shout out to them. And you know, at this point, I think we're well beyond picking sides in a rap battle. I think we're really in a situation where you just got to look at what's right and what's wrong and what's not cool, right? Once again, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more to survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.